there's no
yes.
branch. April have another ones in between.
On the record,
No,
David?
Fishburne's fine.
Good afternoon and welcome everyone to this public comment hearing of the Energy Facilities Siting Board. To start, I want to explain that this is a hybrid public comment hearing conducted in person and on Zoom. Before we start with the substance of this hearing, I want to explain how we will use Zoom to ensure that everyone can fully participate in this public comment hearing from the start. For those of you using Zoom to participate remotely, you will have a full opportunity to see and hear everything said during this hearing and to offer comments and ask questions. For those of you accessing the meeting by phone dial-in, you too can hear everything and have an opportunity to comment or ask questions. The instructions on how to participate were provided in the public comment hearing notice. For audio-only participation, attendees can dial in at 646-558-8656, not a toll-free number, and then enter the webinar ID 896-663-85239. Whether you were here in person or on Zoom or dialing in, our hybrid setup for the hearing should allow you to see and hear everything said today. We ask that you speak slowly and clearly to provide the best possible record of today's hearing. We may ask you to slow down or speak more loudly to facilitate that goal. If I hold up my hand, please stop speaking, as we may need to address technical difficulties related to the use of microphones either here or in person. We will be recording this hearing and it will be posted on the Siting Board's YouTube channel. That listing is provided in the notice for this public comment hearing. Links to see the transcript and the YouTube record will be posted on the Plymouth Wareham project webpage on the Siting Board's website as listed in the notice for this hearing. I would like to welcome everyone to this hybrid public comment hearing in the Energy Facilities Siting Board docket EFSB 25-02. My name is Donna Sharkey. I am the presiding officer in this proceeding, and I am conducting the hybrid public comment hearing. NStar Electric Company, doing business as Eversource Energy, who I will refer to as Eversource or the company, has asked the Siting Board to grant individual and comprehensive zoning exemptions from the zoning ordinances of the town of Plymouth and Wareham for the expansion of two existing Eversource substations. One, the West Pond Substation, located at 0 Federal Furnace Road in the town of Plymouth, and two, the Tremont Substation, located at 4 North Carver Road Extension in the town of Wareham. The expansion of each substation would involve enlarging the fenced yard area and replacing and adding transmission equipment. A description and a map of the sites appeared in the notice of hearing for this docket, which you may have seen in the newspaper or received in the mail. We have additional copies of the notice available for you here today at the table near the door. As you can see on the stage and on your screen, if you are participating remotely, there are other people with me from the Siting Board who will be involved in the review of this project. They are, to my left, Andrew Green, Director of the Department's Siting Division; Joan Foster Evans, to my right, General Counsel of the Siting Division; Wayne Wong, Assistant Director of the Siting Division; Caleb Chang, a Siting Analyst; and Jonathan Jonathan, a Program Coordinator with the division. Please let us know if you are having any technical difficulties with Zoom. Call or text 857-200-0065 for assistance. Council and company representatives for Eversource are also participating in this public comment hearing. The notice related to this project is posted in a number of different places online with links to obtain additional information, including the Plymouth Wareham webpage as part of the list of Siting Board open dockets, the Siting Board's siting calendar, and the Eversource project website. Again, those links and web addresses are listed in the notice. I will briefly describe the request made by Eversource related to its proposed project and the legal standards that govern the Siting Board's project review. Next, I will allow the company to make a presentation regarding the project. After that presentation, I will open the floor to comments and questions from members of the public who wish to offer oral comments. Please note that we will also review any written comments submitted by the public. As I mentioned earlier, the project includes two components: the proposed expansion of the West Pond Substation in Plymouth and the Tremont Substation located at 4 North Carver Road Extension in Wareham. The company's requests for zoning exemptions for the substations are filed pursuant to General Laws, Chapter 40A, Section 3. Under this statute, the Siting Board must determine whether the company is a public service corporation, whether the exemptions are required, and whether the present or proposed use of the land or structure is reasonably necessary for the convenience or welfare of the public. The proposed changes at each substation are as follows. At the West Pond Substation, the proposed expansion includes: 1, expanding the fenced substation yard from approximately 0.8 acres to 2.5 acres to accommodate new equipment. 2, replacing 2 50 megavolt transformers with 3 75 MVA transformers, each with passive secondary containment. 3, installing a 115 kilovolt 6-breaker ring bus. 4, replacing 1 23 kilovolt bus with metal-clad double bus, double breaker switchgear. 5, installing 2 new capacitor banks for a total of 3. 6, installing a 23 kilovolt circuit breaker and associated disconnects. 7, installing a new relay and control enclosure, approximately 58 feet long, 26 feet wide, 14 feet tall. 8, installing new drainage structures as appropriate. And 9, installing approximately 1,400 feet of galvanized chain link mesh fence of similar height to the existing fence. In Wareham, the proposed expansion at the Tremont Substation includes: 1, expanding the fenced substation yard from approximately 1.8 acres to 2.1 acres to accommodate the new equipment. 2, replacing 1 28 megavolt ampere transformer and 1 22.4 megavolt transformer with 3 75 MVA transformers, each with passive secondary containment. 3, replacing a 23 kilovolt bus with 2 metal-clad switchgear enclosures. 4, installing 3 new capacitor banks, and 5, installing approximately 150 feet of galvanized chain link mesh fence of similar height to the existing fence. The substation expansions are components of a proposal that the company submitted to the Department of Public Utilities as part of an electric system planning program to allow the interconnection of distributed generation resources such as solar and energy storage system projects in the Plymouth and Wareham area. In a separate docket, the department established a new framework for upgrades to the interconnection of the distributed generation. The program is designed to ensure the installation of system upgrades to provide a pathway for many solar and energy storage system projects currently in the interconnection queue in your area. The public comment hearings in this docket mark the beginning of a formal state-level decision-making process focused on whether to approve the project. There are multiple ways that you can participate in the siting board's review of the project. First, you may comment on the project at the public comment hearing today. You may also file written comments by Tuesday, August 19th, by email to me at the address in the notice and to the company's counsel, whose email address is also listed in the notice. In addition, you may choose to seek participation as an intervener or limited participant in the adjudicatory phase of the siting board's review of the project. The deadline for requesting participation as an intervener or a limited participant is Tuesday, August 19th, 2025. We would encourage anyone who does seek to participate to review the material published on the siting board website, which outlines the different ways in which you can participate in our proceedings and the standards for requesting these types of participation. For example, you may participate as a full intervener. A full intervener has rights to ask discovery questions of the company, to present witnesses, to ask questions of witnesses testifying at the hearings, to file briefs and motions, and to appeal the decision of the siting board. In the alternative, you may participate as a limited participant. A limited participant can receive filings made in this proceeding and may file briefs with the siting board. A limited participant does not have the right to appeal the siting board's final decision. The information on this type of participation is also in the public comment hearing notice for this proceeding. You'd like a copy of the notice and the intervention rules by email, please send your contact information to my email at donna.sharkey@mass.gov, and I can send the information to you by email. Eversource's counsel and company representatives are participating in the public comment hearing. May I have appearances of counsel, please?
Or could you just use the microphone so everyone can hear you?
Oh, sorry. Catherine Cuthan from the law firm of Keegan Worland on behalf of NStar Electric Company, doing business as Eversource. Also appearing on behalf of Eversource is Cheryl Blaine, also from the law firm of Keegan Worland.
Thank you. I would note that the company has provided a certification that the notice for this public comment hearing has been provided consistent with the terms required by the siting board. Would the company like to begin with its presentation regarding the projects? After that presentation, we will open the floor for comments and questions from the public.
Good afternoon. My name is Jeremy Tremper, presenting on behalf of Eversource as the project manager for these projects. I want to thank the siting board and all attendees and participants for your participation here today. Um, so this is again for the Tremont Substation Expansion Project. This project is part of a larger distributed energy resources project group in the Plymouth area. It also consists of projects at West Pond, as noted earlier, Wareham Substation, a Line 132 transmission upgrades, and distribution line upgrades. These upgrades comprehensively enable the interconnection of the distributed energy facilities, such as solar and battery storage, that were studied comprehensively across this area. The Tremont substation itself, Donna already presented the scope of the work here, but the graphic on the screen represents the existing and proposed expansion of the area to facilitate the noted transformer replacements, the additional transformer, the switchgear, and the capacitor banks. The expansion area is on an existing Eversource-owned property, and it's consistent with the parcels that were built on previously. So the total project need here, as noted, is to facilitate these distributed energy resources, DER projects that include solar, wind, and battery. It also does enable future DER applicants to interconnect to the system, as well as it facilitates projected load growth in this area and helps the Mass Commonwealth meet its goals of decarbonization across the Commonwealth. The next slide and the few to follow here are visual simulations of the substation from surrounding views. The first one here from Cranberry Highway, which runs to the south of the existing substation. There is no notable change here with the upgrades that are being proposed from what is currently existing. The next view here is from Doty Street, which is to the southwest of the substation. There is the scope of the project is primarily on the far side of where this picture was taken. And as such, there is no anticipated visual impact from the adjacent Doty Street. Next picture is from North Carver Road. This is from the north looking south on the opposite side of I-495, which runs to the north of the station. Similar to the other views, there's no appreciable change here. All of the upgrades that are being proposed are below the tree line and not visible from this location. And then lastly, just this is the existing view versus the proposed view from I-495. There is, if you're looking down the right of way here, you can see the new transformers that are being installed, as well as the new switchgear enclosure behind basically the far transmission pole to the right of the screen, just left of the trees. As far as the overall permits that are required for this project, the anticipated substation expansion is relatively minimal. Will be outside of existing wetlands and buffer zones. The only permit that we're anticipating is the earth removal permit from the town of Wareham, in addition to this facilities siting board zoning exemption petition. And this is just kind of an overall timeline of the project. We did start outreach for the project in 2024, started permitting in early 2025, and expect that to carry through the second quarter of next year. We do plan to start construction in the second quarter of next year as well. We anticipate roughly a 24-month construction duration for the comprehensive upgrades at Tremont Substation, which would provide for a quarter two of 2028 in service date. And as far as just kind of the overall construction, some general things that we're mindful of and will continue to account for is making sure that if necessary, we secure a police detail and implement traffic management plans to facilitate access to the project site, residential street access, or pedestrian or motorist safety. This project is on the end of a dead-end cul-de-sac with no other abutters adjacent to the substation on that side. So we do anticipate minimal impacts to that manner. However, we will facilitate police detail during major equipment deliveries as necessary. We have also been already in close coordination with the abutting property owners, primarily along the south, west, and east of the station, through informational mailings, door hangers, on-site meetings, and email updates. We also maintain a project website where we will continue to post progress updates as the project progresses. And building off that, just as far as the overall community outreach, some of the key stakeholders are the municipal officials. We are coordinating actively with the towns of Plymouth and Wareham as part of this petition filing. As mentioned, the property owners and tenants, any nearby businesses and community-based organizations. Tremont is within an environmental justice community, so we do have resources engaged to provide the additional resources that are needed and within the environmental justice communities. We have also to date participated in open houses in both Wareham and the Plymouth area, and again provided email updates. We do have contact information listed on this project slide as well that will connect those directly to the project team that is on this project here. And I believe this is just a duplicate of previous contacts, but again, the Eversource project hotline, email, and as well as a QR code for any project email updates as the project continues. So that's the extent of the presentation that we have for this afternoon, but I'll turn it back to the siting board if there's any questions or otherwise.
Are there any present, either in person or online? I'm sorry, I'm just going to repeat that because my mic was off. We're proceeding with public comments regarding the project. We're beginning with federal, state, and local officials, appointed as well as elected officials who wish to be heard. Are there any present, either in person or online? Please raise your hand if you are using Zoom. Seeing none, we will proceed with members of the public who have signed up to speak in the order in which they have signed up. I believe we have not to date received any people who have signed up on the sign-in sheet. So finally, we will allow anyone who wishes to speak but did not have the chance to speak to let us know now. Is there anyone present in person or online, please raise your hand to offer your comments. Sir, please come up to the podium. Could you come up to the podium? Sorry, it's just so that we can hear better with the mic. So if you can start, please just give your name and address, spell your name, and then just speak slowly and clearly.
I'll do my best. My name is Benjamin Hatch. I live at 8 Doherty Street in West Wareham, directly opposite the existing EverSource facility. I apologize for my informal dress. I should have dressed more appropriately. Anyway, I'm not used to standing before speakers. I have a concern. I certainly respect all the efforts for EverSource to make improvements to better serve electrical power to our communities. But I am concerned about what effect the developments from the project we're concerned about today, as well as what's going on at the theater, and how it will impact the value of our abutting properties. That's it.
Would the company like to respond to that question?
Sure. Yeah. Yeah. As far as the again the upgrades that are the upgrades that we'll be making on the opposite side of along Carver Road, there won't be any sort of visual impact, environmental. The work is happening in an area that's already been continuously developed. There's actually a transmission structure that is currently there that we're basically just building around in the area. So as far as the physical location of the work and how that plays into the view and the value of the areas within the facility, I don't anticipate any impact when it comes to that. As far as other folks on the EverSource team, I'd welcome you to weigh in. But these upgrades are happening in an area that's already developed. It's already it has a transmission structure sitting within it, and shouldn't create any sort of appreciable impact on the view from abutting areas.
Does that answer your question, sir?
I would definitely welcome as well. We do have contact information for our project services team. Mo, who's sitting here, as well as Max, are actively engaged in this project here. So if there are any questions or concerns along the way, by all means, please don't hesitate to bring them up, because we do want to continue to be a good partner to the community and the folks that are around there.
Can I just follow up on the gentleman's question?
Sure.
So even where a project like the Tremont Substation expansion project doesn't have what you would maybe describe as perceived impacts, visually you might not see it or see anything different, and there may not be any additional measurable impacts. Does the company have any experience in terms of how a project like that would possibly affect residential property values in the adjacent areas? Is there any, real estate data to, take a position on that question?
I don't have any offhand, but I'm not sure if anyone from the EverSource team can speak to that. Otherwise, that's definitely something we can look into to see if such a study has been complete in the past.
All right, thank you.
Is there anyone else who has a question or a comment to offer? If not in person, then online, please raise your hand virtually if you're not here in person. So it appears we do not have any further comments from anyone online or in person. I'd like to thank everyone who is here for participating. I'd also like to remind you that comments and requests for participation are due by Tuesday, August 19th, 2025. We welcome your input and your questions. The information you provide to us is important in our review of a proposed project. If you have any questions relating to today's hearings or want a clarification of the Siting Board's review of this case or anything else related to this hearing, please email me at my email address. I'd like to thank everyone for participating and for the comments and questions offered regarding this proposed project. Thank you. Off the record.